there are certain exams that you have to take again in Indonesia to be able to practice as a medical practitioner, because the what you call it, the situation in Indonesia not the same with the situation, for instance, in the United States. We have a tropical diseases here. In the United States, they don't have tropical diseases. So if you study medicine in United States, of course, you have to study again in Indonesia to accelerate your expertise and in line with our needs in Indonesia. But in other profession, I think you ask, like, for instance, if your profession in IT, you always compare what you get in the United States maybe with what you get as a professional IT in Indonesia. If that's your aim, then you will not able to give back to Indonesia. You have to know that there are certain differences between Indonesia and United States. For instance, cost of living is different. That's why if you are getting paid in United States like $5 million a month, you cannot get it easily here because our living cost is not $2 million a month, right? If people said that you are not appreciated by many profession or company here, you have to name it. Or you have to again ask yourself, what's wrong with me? What lacking from me that I cannot accept it by a company or person in Indonesia? Sometimes if you are already experienced working abroad for 2-3 years, your working culture are different from Indonesia. So you cannot adapt again to the working culture of Indonesia. That's happened with many of my friends who work in United States for maybe quite some time, and they decided to return to Indonesia during their retirement and try to live in Indonesia. But they cannot adapt themselves, they cannot adjust themselves with Indonesian culture anymore because they already Americanized. They cannot see the beauty of chaos. I can say that because if you go to Singapore, there was no chaos at all. It's like robot. If you go to Indonesia, the beauty of chaos, you know, the chaos everywhere. You have to adjust yourself. Like for me, for instance, I live in India for 4 years, in Turkey for 4 years, in the United States for 6 years, in Ukraine for 3.5 years. I have to adapt myself, adjusted myself with the value, local value there. You see in India, there are many, only one saying, once you go there, you love it or you hate it. Because it's so dirty, so many people, and so on and so on. But they have many beautiful things too, that you can learn from. So if you go abroad, study, and go back here, change your mindset. Your mindset is to serve your country, not to get salary as you get it in the United States.
Okay, I highlight your statement, Ibu, that if you want to be a professional that is needed by anyone, please embrace any profession, but be distinguished. Okay, very inspiring, Ibu.
Okay, as we know that you are a great woman who have a various experience, who lives in many countries. So my question is very simple, actually. How you deal with or manage your time as a mother? Because as you told to us that we have to step out from our comfort zone. And my comfort zone is with my daughter, my little daughter. And as a mother, I have to raise my little daughter to prepare her competitive life in the future. So what we have to do as a mother. Thank you very much.
We have the same case, Ibu.
I think every career woman has the same question. Yeah. My case also the same. Yeah. When I decide to become a career woman, I discuss with my husband. This is the consequence, whether we can accept it or not. With the support of husband, with the blessing of husband, then you step out. Without it, never ever. Okay? Because if we have understanding within the family, then the burden of managing the family will be shared. You are not a superwoman. We are not a superwoman. So we have to come and ask a help. Husband is also father. They also love to be around their kids. So trust them. Trust them. We are not the only one who give love. If you're thinking only that you are the one, as a mother, I have to be able to do this, that, it's wrong. Other people can also, but you have to trust them. Build a teamwork with husband, with your housemate if you have, right? You have to trust them. It's difficult, and also I managed to do that. Whenever I came home, my time is for family. I detect myself with work. No working papers, nothing. I left it in the office. Even when I open the door, immediately I become servant of my kids, my husband. That's already. But I already teach my kids that once I change my dress into career woman, they have to allow me to go outside. Because they understand that I will come back for them. So building trust with your kids is very important too. Even though outside, you always for them. You have time for them. It's difficult, but you have to try. Even now it's much easier. You have Skype, you have telephone. During my time when my kids was still 3 years old, 1 year old, there was no Skype. So I constantly type message, what my kids eating today, whether it's enough. And my husband told me like this, I'm their father too. So I never ever ask tiny things of my kids. That's stopped my anxiety as a mother, because I knew that my kids is in good hands. So build up a teamwork within the family. My husband is here. I tell you one secret. When I joined the foreign minister, I'm single. I'm still single. I know it's very difficult for diplomat women to get understanding husband. But I'm lucky enough to meet him. And then when we get married, I took 2 years leave, especially to build the foundation of my family. Leave without pay. So all my career stopped. Leave without pay for 2 years. And then when my 2 years leave almost finished, we discussed. Do I have to go back to Indonesia and serve again as a diplomat? At the time we were in United States, he worked there. Or we stay here in United States and I quit my foreign ministry job. He said, no, you have career, you have to continue, go back. With this understanding, I get blessing that this career should be followed till the end. With the support of husband, then I become ambassador. So in every saying that beside a great man, always a great woman. This is also goes vice versa.
Okay, I have one question. In the era of Asian Economic Community, we are, as academicians, a lot of campus in Indonesia, they're talking about workshop, they're talking about whatever training for training or whatever preparing the human resource in Indonesia for facing emerging market in global era. And now we are from Telkom University, and I believe we are as academician in here, we also have from Universitas Padjadjaran, from Unicom, from Maranatha in here. We are academicians, and we are preparing the next generation to compete the globalization. My question is, do you have any excellence treatment or excellent suggestion for us as academicians? What is the very excellent formula for us to give our next generation to facing the globalization, the competition, so then we can also, as Indonesian people, we can also compete in the real big competition, and we can be a winner. I think that's my question. Thank you.
Yeah. Institutionally, Telkom or any university should build like standardization of education and certification. Right now, we are facing a problem with the standardization of medical education, medicine, Faculty of Medicine, because once Indonesia, any university in Indonesia have a doctor, but then this new profession has to be tested again, right? If you want to become a specialist in medicine, you have to be also tested again. And after you finish your specialist, you have to be tested again. I think, personally, this is not a good situation. A shortcut, but standardization and certification is a must. For instance, for profession, IT profession, what certificate are you given to your student here? So you have to work with other university who also focusing on the IT sectors. Then make a agreement that this is the standard, this is the certificate will be given to them. Then with this standard and certification, they can be recognized by the government as any standard, and they can be as a tool to compete with other professionals from other countries. I think the first step for institution it's like that. For the student itself, as I mentioned again here, be distinctive on your profession. If you study IT, don't only study IT. You study also other subjects. For instance, sociology, business, not only related to the faculty that you are now in, but also can be any other. For instance, if you are a political science, you can also study broadcasting. Then you can make a movie different from other because it's a political movie. It's not only movie for entertaining, but also for education. So for students, please, do not only study your own subject. Take other subject.
I just want to ask you about Asian Economic Community phenomenon. What should be prepared and what should be done to conquer it in terms of the mastery of international language. For us as an academician as well as educators, it is very important. Again, continuing the previous explanation about how to deal with this phenomenon in your perspective in relation to the mastery of international language.
In Southeast Asia, in ASEAN, Indonesian language is the major language spoken. That's one advantage for us, okay? And once a professional from other country would like to work here, they have to be able to speak Indonesian language. But, you know, especially in the IT sector, you will be interact with not only in ASEAN, but all over the world, right? So other languages, it's a must. For instance, like English, right? I see many speak fluently English here. I also very admire to your ability to speak foreign language, English especially. But other thing that I would like to add is in economic community of ASEAN, there are certain rules and regulation. We call it AFAS, Asia Services Agreement, right? It should be, as I mentioned before, certification, standardization is a must. Without this one, we cannot compete with other countries. For instance, if you say that this IT professional from Indonesia able to do this or to do that in your country, what is the proof? What is the paper proving that one? We are now in ASEAN very advanced in engineering, civil engineering. So our civil engineer can work easily in any ASEAN country because they already have standardization, certification approved by other ASEAN countries. So for IT, I don't know, do you have it already or not? For any other profession also, it should be in place first for Indonesia. Otherwise, you know, it's difficult to convince them that we are capable of doing the work. For students, study a language is a must, but I would like to also give one more stress that not only foreign language, but your own language. It's also important, Bahasa Indonesia, right? Because if you did not speak Bahasa Indonesia correctly, the way it is, then you cannot write the paper correctly. Foreign Ministry facing a big challenge because when we ask our junior to write a report, very, you know, disappointed because the way they write in Bahasa Indonesia was wrong. We understood the meaning, but not the way it should be. So Bahasa Indonesia is also important, Papa, yeah? Because we're going to put Indonesian language as a requirement for foreign professional, but we ourselves did not speak Bahasa correctly or write Bahasa correctly. It's the same.
I have some Indonesian expats, and I think there are many Indonesian expats in other countries. I met like some professor in US, in UK, and in Netherlands, and they are all Indonesian and still with Indonesian passport. And also I met like some Indonesian, high-skilled Indonesian workers in Airbus in Bristol. And my question is there any policy from government to keep connected with them or to invite them to contribute in industrial development in Indonesia? Thank you.
Yeah. Ibu, my portfolio is now with Indonesian overseas abroad, yeah, living abroad. This year we're going to issue Indonesian overseas card. So whoever Indonesian living abroad, studying, working as professional abroad, they will be given a card. With this card, we will have the information on their specific profession, specialty. Then we are able to make a mapping, right? And if they would like to contribute to Indonesia, we can be channel, can be used as a channel for them. For instance, in United States, there are Indonesian community who already have a program with the University of Cendrawasih in Papua. They built a lab, English as second language. They also help the academician there, the lecturer, to improve their English, to improve their laboratorium. This is the way the government channel the Indonesian diaspora abroad to contribute to Indonesia, be it in a physically or in academic way or in business also. Every year, every 2 years, we have Indonesia diaspora meeting in Jakarta or in other country, like in other city. With this diaspora meeting, we have several task force. In each task force, connect to be business, education, health sector, or even tourism, energy sector. So it's many channels that can be used by our fellow Indonesian who live abroad and study, work abroad, to contribute to Indonesia. So this is the new portfolio. Before we don't have this. So this is my responsibility now. I need your help to give maybe insight how should the government prepare and empower the Indonesian overseas abroad. I will always welcome your ideas, especially Bu Dede.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, based on the schedule that we come to the end of our today's agenda. If you still have more questions, maybe you can write down to the committee, and the committee will convey to Ibu Ninik then. Okay, Ibu, as you mentioned earlier that we are not superwoman, but indeed you are a very superwoman, a diplomat at the same time, you are a great mother and a good wife.